Hey, what's up everyone? Today in the garage we're going to do some cabin filter changes. It's very neglected maintenance item that no one ever really thinks to do unless someone else is doing it for you, because it's it's buried deep in the glove boxes. It's it's one of those, unless there's something wrong you never notice it, or unless if it smells or whatever, you might know it. But I've changed a lot over the years for friends, family, and whatever, and usually when I take it out it's full of crap, leaves and seeds and crap that comes through the windshield wiper crown. So I'll show you guys some tips and tricks on how to get to them on both the Sienna and the IS. Especially the IS, there's some some stuff you need to know when you're in there so you don't break a $3,000 part on there. And then while I'm in there, I'll show you on the Sienna, I did some lighting mods a while back on it, and I'll show you what I did over there, so if you guys are interested in that. And then on the IS, I'll show you, or I'll talk about the navigation video mods that I've had in there, and the DVD player and all that I've got in the glove box. Alright, so we'll start in the Sienna first. So one of the things with the Sienna is all cabin filters are all behind the glove box, but on the Sienna, what you have to do is you open this. There's a little spring on the side. It's not spring, like a little pump thing, plastic. You got to unhook it on this side over here, the right side, and you kind of got to squeeze these in on either side here. First couple times you do it, it takes some muscle, but you pop it down and it drops this thing. Usually you would have to take all your crap out of here, but I have a trash can right here so I can hold it in the way. But once you drop it down, you'll go down and take a look at it. So right here, the filter axis is right here, so it's on this door. You just pop this door out on either side, and the filter is right behind there. Just pull the filter out, put your new one in, and you're good. What I was talking about earlier right here was that this pump right here, it's kind of that, and then there's a little right here that connects to that, so you just unhook it. It just pushes in and out right there. One thing you'll notice about my Sienna is that I've got all these lights in here, which it doesn't come stock with the Sienna. You don't have this light stock. I added this pack for $10 or something like that. There's just a flat LED strip here. I actually wired it up to constant power. That's on most of the time, except on it I added this switch right here that it's an OEM switch from a Hyundai or a Kia. It's an OEM glove box switch. It looks, it fits right here perfectly on this. I actually had to cut the hole out, so I had this whole glove box dropped down, and I cut it out and with the X-Acto knife and stuck that in there, and then all the wiring is behind there. One other thing I added was down here in the footwell light, I added another LED strip similar to the one up top there, and that one's actually tied to the door switch. So when I close the door, which on this car, well actually no, that one I hooked it up to the dome light, so it's part of the dome light circuit where it dims and everything. And then on one other thing on the Sienna is this door light here only comes lit on the XLE and the limited editions. On the LE and SE is just a red reflector. I swapped it out with one of the Toyota Prius or Camry, or almost every other Toyota has the clear ones. I even did the same clear swap on my Lexus IS. The Lexus IS comes with a red one, and it's red and lit. So I swapped that out a long time ago with a Camry set. They sell the ones now that project the Lexus logo or whatever logo you want to the ground on eBay. Those are like 10 or 12 bucks. They're pretty cheap. But for this car, there's no wiring behind there, so I had to get a wire harness with it, and I actually ran it all through the door, back into the car, and hooked it up to the dome light circuit and the switch over here, so it can turn on and off when the door is closed right there. I've done a bunch of other wiring on this car, including the turn signal mirrors and all that. So there's and I try to keep all my wiring as OEM looking as possible, so it's very clean when you get to the back of there. Alright guys, so we're in the IS right now, so I'll show you guys how to take out the cabin filter on this car without breaking your recirculating cap. First thing you're going to do is just take all your stuff out of the glove box. So mine's got junk that I haven't taken out in years. So I just pull all this out. You notice I've got a, looks like a media player or DVD player in there. That's actually a DVD player from about 7 or 8, 10 years ago. I've got that nav TV interface for my navigation unit here, where I can play media on the screen. I've got this. It had it's probably got that about 10 years ago on a group buy on Club Lexus. That one, installed it. I installed that media player. It plays media off a SD card and a USB card also, and then it plays DVDs obviously. I've got an old school Apple plug in here that is no longer useful because it uses the old plug on it, so it's worthless to me. So anyway, so you took all my stuff out. I took out this piece right here. It just kind of snaps in on either end with, just pushes into some holes up there. So you just pop it out, the bottom and the side out, and then you pull it out. So once you do that, there's a little door back there that you have to get, you got to pop out. So if you look in here, you'll see that door back here. You just reach in there, lift up on it, and it pops right out. So just take it right out. You see it's got the 4 clips in the bottom, and then you'll see your filter in there. If you don't see that filter, don't try to open that door, because there's a recirculating door that closes down on it, and it's actually on a lever on the side. So early on, when people got this car back in 06 and 07, they were changing their own filters and they were destroying it because they try to force it up. But what that is, it's controlled by your recirculate button over here. So if you guys run with outside air all the time, that flap's going to be closed. If you run recirculate all the time like I do, I've got it open. I actually have it set in my personal settings on TextStream to never automatically switch between the two, because I'm in Florida. I like to keep it recirculating inside air unless I want fresh air or something stinks in the car, so I'll manually set it myself. But most people, they have it set on auto. If you have a 350 or an ISF, there's actually a button in the middle that I think it's auto, or forgot what it was, but it's got, it lets it. But on here you have, it's auto. On the 250s, it's automatically, unless you set it on your personal settings. So back to here. So once you take that if you confirm that you can get to their filter, all it does is snap up. So it's got, you just snap the pieces and pulls right out, and then the filter is actually inside a tray. So it's inside the tray. You want to just pop it out of that tray and then put the new one in, and then just reinstall it the way you took it out, and it's that simple. Alright, so I've got everything out of the cars, and you'll first notice when I pulled the filters out, I compared the Sienna one, which is this one right here. It's a carbon activated OEM filter. It was the original one that came with the car. Car is a 15, so it's been in there for a little over 4 years now. I've serviced it and cleaned it over the years by blowing compressed air through it every time. You notice this is do not service, replace only. I wasn't following those directions, but anyway, it's a very high quality, very thick, heavy duty filter. The one I grabbed out of the IS is also an OEM filter that I bought, replaced it a couple years ago, and this one, it's got all the very similar markings. The difference here is got the C instead of the H over here. And the first thing I noticed when I was holding the two is this one is very flimsy. It is a carbon activated filter also, but it's very flimsy. This one's very heavy and dense, and just the material, the pleat material. If you look close, this one's very solid, kind of looks like a double, maybe a 2-ply filter media. This one, you look at real close, it's a very thin, you can almost see through it. It does have it's like a fiber, a woven fiber, but you can kind of see it, but it's a single layer. So that's difference between the two. This one, right now, if you look up online, I think the part number is 87139 50100. It's about a $40 to $45 filter on eBay and Amazon and all those dealerships that sell in those places. So I'm thinking this is probably a $50 or $60 filter OEM if you bought it at the dealership. So it's a very expensive, high quality filter. This one I bought a couple years ago from Lexus of Pembroke Pines, their Trade Motion site online. They offer pretty good discounts. I think most of their stuff is about 20% off retail, which is almost dealer pricing. If you had a dealer or a license, business license or something to buy, usually that's a $20 to $25% discount when you buy with that. So it's about wholesale price on that what I bought it for. And I think I probably bought 4 of these over the years on this car, and I've used them probably fine. But now that I noticed that they upgraded to this very heavy duty, and when I was looking these up on the internet just to kind of research, this one seemed like on the OEM descriptions it showed odor and carbon activated, so maybe that's why it's thicker. And then this one is obviously not as thick, but it's still carbon activated. One of the replacements I got a couple years ago when just stocking up on maintenance parts was this. This one is an aftermarket version. It's this part number ends with a YZZ10, and that seems like the current version of the paper filter that are in most of the Toyotas and all that. So this one's just a general paper. It's not carbon activated or anything. I got it pretty cheap, maybe $5 or $6 a while back. So I'm just going to use it in the Sienna for this maintenance cycle. I actually marked it so I know when I changed it. So next time I can kind of gauge it. If you look at the fibers, these are very thick woven fibers. You can't see through them. It's very akin to the carbon one over here as far as the filter media. It just doesn't have the carbon activated. And all 3 of these, they have 30 of these pleats in them. So they're all the same number of pleats, and that matters because it's more surface area as the air blows across these pleats. So more surface area means better filtration. You get more stuff through, the air passes through more media. So and this one, that's kind of looks like the standard. I've actually ordered OEM Lexus filters before, which came from Sewell of Lexus in Texas or in Dallas, where there used to be a Club Lexus sponsor, and they gave pretty good discounts. But I think I ordered, I think the part number was ended up with a YZZ08, and they shipped me something that looked like this, but it was probably half the number of pleats. It was literally 12 to 15 pleats. It was very thin material. It wasn't for my car, it was for my cousin's car, and I just used it in her car because they shipped that to me, and I didn't really think much of it at the time, other than I knew it was crap. For the IS this time, I picked up this EP Auto CP285 off of Amazon. I think these were maybe $7. I got a 2-pack for a little under $14, I believe, on these. And I took it out of the package. First thing I noticed, the number of pleats. So the number of pleats on this one is only 20 versus 30 on the OEM. As far as the filter media goes, though, the filter media, this is very, very similar to that the one I pulled out of the Sienna here, the high quality double pleats. You can see that through the plastic. It's a double ply filter with the only disadvantage of this one is it's got less pleats, less surface area for the air to go through. So for you know, a fraction of the price, a third of the pleats, and the same filter median material here with the carbon activated in it. You know, you can't really beat that, you know, compared to this guy, because I think the lowest price I've seen is $35 shipped on eBay, and you know, most other places sell it for about $40 to $45 on eBay. So, you know, it's very good value. I'm gonna try it out on the IS, see how well it lasts. If it, I know a lot of you guys that have the 2IS, you notice sometimes you get a weird egg, you know, rotten egg smell. I'm hoping to get rid of that. It's random. I'm not sure what it comes from. And down here in Florida, it must be just humidity and moisture that builds up in the ducts, you know, when you turn off the car and park in the sun all day. So anyways, thanks for listening to my video. If you guys like this information, just like, comment, subscribe, share, whatever you need to do. You know, anybody that likes to do their own maintenance and do something simple, because you know, the cabin filters are very neglected, and a lot of people forget about these, and very important for just, you know, if you spend a lot of time in your car. So anyways, thanks for listening, guys.